If you'd like to dive into this series without watching the previous videos, here's an outline of what our setup is so far and how to get your environment set up. So the first thing you want to do is go to the resource pack for this collection and then go to the Part 1 Steps folder. Inside of this, there's a folder called 45 Adding Grunt Automation. In the most recent videos in this series, we used a tool called Grunt in order to merge all of our CSS files and JavaScript files into a single CSS and JavaScript file, and then minify them and inject them into our index.html file. If that doesn't make any sense to you, you can watch some of the previous videos to get a sense of why we would do this. So what you can do is copy this entire folder to the location where you want your project on your hard drive, and it doesn't really matter where you put it. You can also rename this something that makes a little bit more sense to you. Now, inside of this folder, if we open it up, we have a number of files. So if you want to take a look at the project so far, you can just open up this index.html file in the browser. A couple of the things that we're doing, though, requires that this site runs on a server. And the simplest way to set up a server is to install Node.js, which we did in a previous video, and then run http-server on the command line. So right now we have two windows running on the command line. In this one, we have our HTTP server. So if I stop this process, we could just run HTTP server and begin running our server and be able to navigate to this site by going to localhost 8080. We also have a number of other components running at this time, some of which we're not going to use for the rest of the series, but it's good to know what's going on behind the scenes. Here's a quick visual of what we have. So to begin with, in the series, we used Bower to manage front-end packages. And to run Bower, we needed to install Node. So we have Node installed and also Bower. After that, we wanted to use the Sass CSS preprocessor. And in order to do that, we had to install Ruby. So we have Ruby and Sass installed as well. At some point, we wanted to extend Sass to include some extensions. And in order to manage those as packages, we installed Bundler, which also runs off of Ruby. At some point, we decided we wanted to use Compass, which provides a set of additional tools for Sass, and we did that through Bundler. Finally, we installed Grunt, an automation tool, as well as a number of Grunt plugins, and the versions of all of these are managed with Node. So if you don't have any of these already set up on your computer, you can watch some of the previous videos in this collection. We walk you through installing Node, Bower, Ruby, Sass, Compass, Bundler, Grunt, and Grunt and Sass extensions. Now, just coming into this collection, that seems like a lot, but the rationale is made clear as we work through the process of what it would be like without these tools. Ultimately, the added complexity of having these components to work with is worth it for the amount of time that we save and the number of errors and issues we circumvent. So we have all of these components, and right now what we're doing is running Compass on the command line in order to watch for changes in our Sass files. We use Bundler in order to run the specific version of Compass that we have installed for this project, and we do that by running the command bundler exec and then compass watch.